Minds up, minds up. It is your girl, Takiyah Diamond, live again with you tonight. You guys know we are here for the mindset turn up, right? We're going through this series. We are building some wonderful stuff. I've been creating some awesome content, and it has just been coming. It has just been flowing. And as it comes to me, I dish it right out to you before I forget it. So tonight, we're going to talk about something that each and every one of us have been through. You, me, your mama, daddy, father, sister, brother, uncle, cousin, we've all been there. We've all been in a place where we have felt victimized, right? We've all been in a place to where we felt like, the world was coming down on us. Like, maybe you woke up and the car wouldn't start and you had to deal with that. And then, when you finally get to work, maybe you spilled coffee on your shirt. And then when you deal with that, then your boss is picking on you. And then when you're done with that, you're trying to find some friends to hang out with and nobody has time for you. And, your boss don't appreciate you. Just all of these things, right, make us feel victimized. But the truth is, we don't have to feel victimized by these things. You know what I mean? And this is also learned behavior. And if you're new, first of all, if you are new, I'm a personal development author. I am a mindset coach. I am also a transformational speaker, and I do a whole lot more, right? But I'm just happy to be here, and thank you so much for joining me. If this is your first time, guys, please share. Please share the live. Share this video with other people so that they too may be enlightened by the wisdom that I bring to you today. So, when you go through all of these things and all of these things start happening to you, what do you feel? You feel used, you feel abused, you feel rejected, You feel like sometimes you start asking yourself, what did I do to deserve this? What did I do to deserve to suffer like this? Why is all of these things happening and distracting me from, what it is I really want to do? And the thing about that is that when you feel like that, then you never really get to enjoy as much like joy, success, and the peace that you truly, truly desire. You never really get a chance to experience that because you are so used to and so comfortable with feeling rejected and abused. It's almost like when everything begins to go right, you create some other drama with your own thoughts and all that. But we'll get into that later into the live, all right? So what ends up happening, though, is when those things start coming at you sideways like that, back to back, you feel like a perpetual victim, right? And then you pretty much just accepted victimhood. And you've accepted this like as if this is like an inescapable reality. Like there's no way to escape what they did to me. I'm just going to be a victim for the rest of my life, right? You don't have to wait for somebody to rescue you, okay? You don't have to wait for somebody to release you from prison. You can release yourself. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a few tips with you guys tonight on some things that you can do that will actually help you get through this whole victimization thing. Because truthfully, guys, victimization actually robs you of your dreams. It robs you of your happiness. It robs you of your joy. Because sometimes you're so focused on what somebody else did that you're not even paying attention to all the great things that you've accomplished for yourself. And so then when you start doing that, you take away from you. You take away from you as a person. You take away from who you are. Because you think that this situation has made you. You buy into the story that everything is falling down on you because of this, which is, or that, or them, or those, or these. You understand what I'm saying? But there's no need to stay in victimization when you know victimization doesn't help you. Each and every person are learning things on their own. You understand? So each person has their time to grow. Eventually, hopefully, they'll get it. But in the same token, you can't hold yourself hostage because other people said something to you or did something to you, or it just seems like it's just having a bad day. Everybody goes through those. We all have bad days. Some days, not every day could be absolutely incredible. But the thing about it is that even when it's not incredible, you can actually turn it around. All right, I'm jumping the gun, and I'm getting off track. I'm giving you guys all this information that I already know that I want to talk to y'all about. So let me snap back in and let me get focused. All right. So the first thing that you're gonna do is you're going to stop blaming others. If you want to give up your victimization, you have to stop blaming other people. Because not everybody was raised the way that you were raised. Not everybody suffered the same pains that you suffered. So something that you might take one way, another person might take it another way. Or a person might do something one way and somebody else might do something another way. It doesn't mean that, this person's right or that person's wrong. You guys just see differently in that particular area. And we're all entitled to our own opinions about things, right? So blaming others, guys, you got to think about it. It make you feel good temporarily when you can say she did it, he did it, or whatever. But in the long run, you look at yourself in the mirror and you should ask yourself, like regardless to how you feel, what was your role in that situation? Like what did you do that could have contributed to it, or that could have triggered it to make it turn out that way? It's not to beat up on yourself. It's just to really just sit back and just acknowledge it, coming from a place of acknowledgement, like, okay, what did I say or what did I do that could have triggered something in the other person that you may feel like a victim? Okay? So I know one thing, here's a little... Well, do I want to do that first? No, what I do want to say is that if you keep doing that, it will lead you into powerlessness. And then it'll lead you into this hopelessness feeling place, like you just can't do it. Like, it's nothing that you could do to fix it. So something that can help you counteract, meaning go against the tendency to blame other people. Like I said, look at yourself. All right. In most cases, guys, you're going to see that you have the power to choose your response. All right. You will let go or you will hold the grudge. Choose to let go. Are you going to be hopeful or are you going to be hopeless? Choose to be hopeful. It's really just a choice. Okay. So number 2, you're going to be compassionate to yourself. Right. Be compassionate to yourself. Right. There's a verse in the Bible that says, love thy neighbor, right, as you love yourself, right? And everybody knows this part, but it seems like the only thing that people talk about is the one part when they say love thy neighbor. But they never really add the as you love yourself, right? And so that's the most important part, because you gotta love you, right? You gotta love you. So it just seems that the second part, loving yourself, is the part that majority of the people in the world take for granted. Loving you is the part that you seem to have such a hard time doing, And so you want to be able to actually break free from that, okay? Truth be told, it's like a silent epidemic of self-loathing, So you have to ask yourself, right? Do I struggle with self-love because of a past failure something that I didn't accomplish, or something that I perceived to be a shortcoming, something that I looked at in another way? And if that's the case, you don't have to be a victim about it, because you're not alone. You're not the only person in the world that ever felt like that. You failed in the past. It didn't work out. What did I do wrong? Like, you're not the only person in the world who felt like that. All right. So The point is that when those voices come in, you can challenge them. You don't have to go with them. You don't have to abide with them, hop in the car with them and take the drive with them. You don't have to do that. You challenge them, okay? And so when those voices come in and they start saying that you're unworthy, you know what? And they saying you're unworthy of your own love. Like, where that come from? How could you be unworthy of loving your own self? Of course, we're supposed to love others, which I'm going to get into. But in the same token, you still got to love you too. You got to, right? All right, so number 3 is practice gratitude. You guys know I'm big on gratitude. I promise you, everything that you go through is just an experience, right? It's practically impossible to feel like a victim when you're so filled with gratitude, when you're just grateful for the lessons. And no matter what you believe in, you hear them say, or you've read somewhere that in the difficult times you can still find things to be grateful for. I say it in my book, 7 Things You Need to change your life now. You could. It's just you got to decide that that's something that you want to do. You know what I mean? And then you got to shift and do what that is, you know, and just understand that you take the lessons as your blessings and then you just keep it moving. All right. And then what you're going to do is ask yourself, you know, what did I experience from this? You know, what did I learn from this experience? What did it teach me? Did it teach me how to love myself more? Did it teach me how to not let people walk all over me? Did it teach me to make sure that I care for myself and put myself first? You know, ask yourself, you know, what could I learn from this experience rather than feeling all victimized by it, right? I mean, the lessons that we get from the things that we experience, guys, we take them to heart. You got to think about it. Like when somebody breaks your heart and you learn a lesson from that, don't you hold that lesson dear to you, and you are cautious. Now, I don't want to say fearful. You might become a little more cautious with the next relationship that you get into because of what you experienced in the last one. It doesn't mean hold on to the baggage, but you're just going to be a little bit more mindful of how you do things. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you want to do, you know. But when we do take the lessons to heart, it could be life-changing. And that's the thing, is that we really just have to learn to be grateful for the lessons that life teaches us, because they're there to teach us. Even the hard ones is not always going to be easy. You know what I mean? So that's just the way it is. It's all right. All right. So number 4, you're going to resist self-sabotage. Let it go. 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 Yes. You got to resist self-sabotage, guys. What is the root to your sabotaging behavior? I can tell you what the root to your sabotaging behavior is. It's control. The fact that you feel like you don't have control of things and somebody else got something over you in a bigger way or whatever, it bothers you. All right? So the thing is, guys, that when you get trapped in the mindset of victimhood, right, we tend to become more aware of how vulnerable that we truly really are. You know, we experience this thing where it's like, I think they call it foreboding. I think that's what they call it. But it's basically like it's a sense of disaster before it even gets there. So before you even get to the corner, you already like, oh, when I turn the corner, you know, the man with the scarf is going to be having it wrapped around his neck so he can choke me. You're already looking for disaster, right? So because you're looking for that disaster to strike, you end up creating situations to where things begin to happen. Because you're speaking like that, you're thinking like that, and then you're acting like that. You're in fear before you even get there. When you get to the corner, there's nobody there. You know what I mean? So, one thing I noticed, excuse me. One thing I noticed, like even in myself, and guys, I'm able to teach you guys this because I'm talking to you about things that I went through in my own life. What good is it for me to, like, you know, show up and don't really express some of the things that I grew through myself, so that I can be an example of what's possible for you two to grow through, right? So, what was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry, but that's okay. Going back to number 4, where I said resist self-sabotage, right? So think about this, right? If a disaster is about to come, somebody who's like strictly in victimization, right? That wants to control every single disaster. They want to control the disaster before it strikes. Why? Because they want to be prepared. So that when the disaster strikes, you know how I just said, when the woman, when she gets to the corner, or the man gets to the corner, and they already imagine this person on the corner waiting for them. They already got the can of mace out just to get there, and there's nobody even there. All right? So when you do that, you basically, you undermine your own joy and you undermine your own success. Okay? It becomes this self-destructive behavior that you actually kind of get comfortable with. And a lot of times, all right, let me be careful that I don't jump the gun, because I know I still got some more to talk to y'all about. So I'm going to leave that where it's at. All right? But one thing I want to say is that inner sabotager, that inner saboteur, you know, it's a powerful enemy. However, you have the power to resist this thing, this, you know, faulty reasoning. That's all it is. All right. And the bottom line, guys, is in order for the inner sabotager or the inner saboteur to bring you down, it requires your participation. Even when it comes to other people, when people are saying things to you that don't make you feel good, or doing things to you, or trying to sabotage your personality or who you've become or what you're not yet or whatever, it requires your participation. Don't participate in it. You don't have to participate in it. Resist that feeling that you don't deserve to be happy, that you don't deserve success, that you don't deserve the joy. Give up the need to control everything, so that you could just embrace the blessings that come out of it. And then once you embrace the blessings that come out of it, it's like you're more so able to accept them fully, because you recognize now at this state that you do deserve. It may not come from that person that you feel that it should come from all the time, but when you love yourself enough, then you have this ability to be able to override what somebody else said. Like I said, you control the voices. Like, they're there, yes. The wrong voice is there, but the good voice is also there. Which one are you going to listen to? All right? So, number 5 was perform acts of kindness. Doing kind acts for other people. Opening the door. It could be simple acts. Walking the old lady across the street. It helps us get out of our own head. Helping somebody in the supermarket carry their bags to the car. Whatever it is, whatever you feel led to do. Okay? When you're feeling like a victim, you know, you're so focused on yourself, your feelings, your concerns, and your powerlessness. Whenever you're feeling victim, you just feel like you really just, you know, you understand what I'm trying to say. But when you help somebody else and you do something kind for somebody else, you know what it does? It actually can inspire you and give you a confidence boost about whatever you was just feeling that you too could get through, because you just inspired somebody else to get through. Right? So that too will help you get over your victimization. Number 6, forgive and let go. Stop holding on to things that you cannot control. Victims often hold on to grudges. They hold on to bitterness. They hold on to past hurts. Oh my God. It's done. It's finished. It's gone. It's like, yo, it's nothing that you can do about it. It's nothing that you can do to change what happened then. It's already done. But the only thing that you do have control over, and you always have control over, is what you're going to do now. What are you going to do to change the situation in your present moment so that looking ahead doesn't look like what it used to? Because that's where you got to get. If you want to get past victimization, you have to get, you got to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, one thing I know, and I used to have a challenge. I used to have a little challenge with talking about this, but I've become such a bigger person that it doesn't really bother me anymore. So when you resist forgiving others because maybe you think that it makes you weak or less of a woman or less of a man, or excusing the wrong, or maybe even being reconciled with somebody that hurt you from the past. It's really none of those things, guys. The things that they did don't even really, technically speaking, it's like you have to understand that forgiveness is not about what the other person did. Forgiveness is for you. It doesn't really require an apology. Would you like an apology? Do you deserve an apology? Most likely you do. Does it require justice to be served? Would you like justice to be served? You understand what I'm saying? But does it require justice to be served in order for you to get past it? No, it doesn't. Because it's you who has to do the forgiving. It's not about the person who did it, the perpetrator. It's not about the perpetrator. It's about you. You and you alone. All right? So, mainly, guys, it's all about, the pain that was inflicted upon you. Okay? So, it's more so about what you do with the pain that was inflicted upon you. Because I'm not going to try to act like it doesn't hurt. But you still got to do what you have to do, to transform that pain into compassion, which sometimes I know is challenging to do because you just feel like your victim mindset makes you feel like, no, this person did me wrong. I don't want to give them blah, 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 but it's not for them. This is for you. This is to make you be okay and understand that person is growing through their own growing pains. And they still got to get their lessons. It's not everything that you can do to fix somebody else. You got to fix you first. And when you fix you, then you could try to go preach, teach, and, to somebody else. So, you want to be able to transform that anger that you feel, that bitterness that you feel, transform it into empathy. What did they go through as a child growing up? What happened in their life that even makes them be this way? Those are the things that we leave out, but those are the things that are actually important that help you have compassion. You know what I'm saying? And the key here is to really have a greater understanding for one another. All right? It's about finding your inner strength. It's about moving beyond the pain in order to find your own inner peace, because nobody else can give you that peace. Nobody else could give you that freedom. Sometimes you might be around other people and you might feel like that person makes you feel free, but it's really your choice to be free whenever you're around that person. Because you could very well get into a whole bunch of arguments and a whole bunch of other stuff that make it chaotic as heck to be around the person. But you choose to be, a positive person when you're around that person so that you can have that peace that you want to feel. But technically speaking, you are that creator of that peace. Okay? Some things can help you feel the peace, but at the end of the day, you got to choose that peace. All right? So, number 7, you want to build self-confidence. I think we talked about this in the live yesterday, I believe. I know sometimes it seems like you have to ask yourself, right? Was confident people born or were they made? And I tell you like this, right? Some people are naturally just self-confident. But then for those of you who are not always self-confident, there's things that you can do to help you build your confidence, right? There's seminars out there that teach you how to build confidence. There's videos out there. I started laughing and I put my head down because I just think about all the excuses that I hear when I'm coaching or when I'm teaching. You know, it's like when I just hear all that, when I got to this point, I just literally hear the excuses all in my head. I can't make it the right? So the bottom line here, guys, is that you can be taught to be confident. Okay? There's so many different modalities out there that can help you do that. Do it. All right? The key here, you guys know me as the affirmation queen. I say what? I see myself confident. I see myself confident. I see myself being embraced by people. I see people loving me. I see things going my way. I see things working out for my good. I see the lessons along the way, and I'm grateful for the lessons along the way. You understand what I'm saying? All right? So the key is to do what? Act confident. Try that on. What did that feel like to be confident? Right? And then once you start trying on this confidence, and you're trying this on and you're putting on this new attitude, you know, what you're going to find is it's actually going to shift you. You know what I'm saying? So do what you got to do. All right? So like the last one, I mean, I had a few more in mind, but all right, maybe I'll give you two more. You want to make sure that you shift your mentality from victim to survivor. I love when this one came up because as I've been creating content, like all this great stuff has been coming up. And when this one came out and it was like, you know, shift your mentality from victim to survivor. I usually say from victim to victor. That's what I usually say. But from victim to survivor, it made so much sense to me. Shifting from victim to survivor, right? So you got to think about it, right? There's no doubt that bad things happen to good people. It just is what it is, right? But the key to not actually succumbing to the victim mentality about it is to actually adopt the mentality of a survivor. In fact, let me find it. There's a book. It's called What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger. And the author is Maxine Chanel. I want to share something with you that's in this book that I know can help you right now. Okay, so in the book she says, a victim asks, how long will it take to feel good? A survivor decides to feel good. So a victim asks, how long will it take to feel good? A survivor decides to feel good. Even when things are not great, guys. You know I got to add my 2 cents into this. All right? She says, a victim grinds to a halt, but a survivor keeps putting one foot in front of the other. There's no need to stop. Keep it moving. I always hear me say that. Keep it moving. Just keep it moving. All right? A victim, they wallow in their self-pity. Me. Woe is me. But a survivor steps out of what's going on with them and actually comforts others. They try to talk to them. They try to put them on the right path. They try to inspire them or encourage them. Sometimes it works. Sometimes people don't want to hear what you have to say because they rather wallow in their victimization more than listen to the solution that you might have given to them. A victim is jealous of someone else's success. A survivor is actually inspired by it. I'm super duper inspired by other people's success. When I see other people becoming successful, it just really makes me happy. Like I watch Lisa Nichols, I watch Tony Robbins, I watch just different people who are doing some of the things that I want to do, and I admire their tenacity to like just keep going forward past all things, the tenacity to know that no matter what, they could do it, right? So that's a really easy way to get past your victimization. Keep a survivor mindset about it. A survivor will be happy that things are working out for this person. They wouldn't be pissed off, angry, and wishing the worst on them, right? All right. The victim focuses on the pain of loss, and the survivor cherishes the memories and the joys. Yes, that's me all day. I know I'm a survivor. I know I'm a survivor. I'm not a victim at all. I know for me, I like to analyze things like, if somebody did something to me, sometimes I will step myself out of it and I'll ask, like, what's going on inside that person that's making this person feel this way about me, or that's making this person so angry or so jealous, so envious, or whatever. What happened in their childhood that somebody might have told them they weren't good enough, or that they could never amount up to be what it is that they need to be, or they could never find a good job, or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? You get the point that I'm making, right? So it's always better to just cherish the memories of joyful things rather than focusing on the pain of whatever you lost. Whatever you lost, you already lost it. Why are you still focusing on it? It's gone. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter what it was. If you lose your money, it's not like you could go back and go back to the casino and be like, give me my money back. You lost it. You blew it. I know that was a random example, but I'm just saying, right? And then a victim actually seeks retribution. Yeah. A victim always seeking retribution. But a survivor seeks redemption. They just want to be redeemed. They just want peace. They're not trying to fight you back. They're not trying to argue. They're not trying to fight. They just want peace, right? And most of all, a victim argues with life, and a survivor embraces life. And I love that about myself, how I'm actually able to really just take one day at a time and be okay with some of the circumstances that pop up. I think it's teaching me self-discipline at the same time. Sometimes it could be something that I really don't want to do, or really don't be in a situation I don't really want to be in, but it's actually building up my strength, right? Do I really have what it takes to stay focused? Do I really have what it takes to keep going in the midst of, the other stuff that's going on around me? Can I be centered? Okay? So there's no need to argue about something that you can't control anyway. Just embrace it for what it is. It just is what it is. All right? And number 10, this is my favorite one. I know I skipped like 2 or 3. It's okay. You know why I skipped them? Because I want to just get to the important one, right? All right. So change your perception of reality. Yep. Because if you're always in this victim mindset and your perception of reality is that the world is against you, the world is just going to continue to be against you. There was a philosopher, I think his name was William of Ackman or Ackner, something to that nature. Anyway, what he has this quote, and he says, the simplest answer or explanation is often correct. Meaning you don't have to go into this big, long, drawn-out explanation about things. You need to challenge your perception of reality. The simplest thing is often the correct thing. Don't make it bigger than what it is, right? So I want you to think back to the time, like maybe when your car wouldn't start, right? the last time that happened to you, what was the first thing that was running through your mind? You probably had all these crazy thoughts going on in your head, like, oh my God, what did I do wrong, right? I must have did something to deserve this. Maybe the kids, they was messing with my car. Like, you instantly jump into this negative thing where you think that you just being a victim all over again. Oh, the kids scratched my car, or the kids was messing with my stuff, or because if I don't go to work today, I'm going to lose my job. If I lose my job, I can't pay my bills. You just like jump into this straight victimization. But what if the car really just has a mechanical problem? What if no kids was messing with your car? What if, you know, you're not going to lose your job because your boss might have just had the same problem with his car? How you know that? Well, you straight jump into this victim mindset like it's all your fault. Sometimes people might say it's all my fault. What did I do to deserve it? Or, you know, somebody did something to me or whatever. But, you know, at the end of the day, guys, you don't have to always be a victim about everything. I have people around me that are just straight victim for everything. Oh my God. It's like sometimes I wake up, I gotta hear it. I get to work, I gotta hear it. I come home, I gotta hear it. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So, yes, you know, as I said earlier, you know, sometimes bad things happen to good people. But at the end of the day, you don't have to allow it to control you, right? Because you got to think about this. What if the car really did just suffer like a mechanical issue or whatever the case may be? It might sound crazy, but we really get caught up in these thought patterns, you know? We get caught up in the thought pattern more often than we care to really tell the truth about it and say that, yeah, we do get caught up in it, you know? Most of the time we end up in this worst case thinking scenario, you know? So I'm going to say the next time worst case scenario thinking come and takes over your whole head, like you can't even think straight, right? It distorts your perception of reality, guys. You know, you want to, you know, just bring it back. The simplest answer or explanation is often correct. All right? So, guys, on the real, I'm here to tell you to let go of victimhood so you could be free, all right? You do not have to be a victim of your circumstances. You do not have to be a victim of what has happened. You do not have to be a victim of who did what, why they did what, when it happened, and all that other stuff. If you just stay in the present moment, guys, just enjoy life for where you are right now and where being in this journey can actually take you, you know? If you focus on that, you will have less time to focus on how much of a victim that you were being. You know what I'm saying? So your victimhood will begin to kind of diminish, which is what you need. So I want you to ask yourself, right? You know, what if you could successfully weather the storms of life instead of consistently feeling like, you know, the ship is about to sink? You know, what if you could positively influence your negative circumstances, you know, and accept that, okay, I've been defeated, but that's okay. You know, what if you could experience gratitude, you know, or maybe even joy in the midst of some crazy experience? I do it all the time. Like, okay, this is nuts. And then I'll be like, all right. I step back, and I guess it's because, you know, my way of thinking has changed so much. But I can remember a time when I would have just been pissed off. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful for the fact that that's no longer the way that I respond to situations in my life. I'm grateful that I have evolved from that place, from that space, okay? And guys, you really just cannot underestimate your own power. You have to stop underestimating what it is that you can do, guys, because you can achieve all of this that I'm saying to you. You have more power than you even realize. You just give it away to the wrong things. And the way that you claim your power, guys, is by committing to practicing some of the things that I shared with you tonight. And you got to just claim your power, guys. Don't feel like you're not good enough to do it. Don't feel like, you know, your victimization is so much bigger than your victory. Your victory holds all the power. And guess what? That victory has to come from within you first. Feel victory on the inside, and then it's going to be expression of the outside. It's just like when you eat a whole lot of bad foods and then your face start breaking out. You know why? It's because all of this stuff in your food, the food in your stomach is not really digesting properly, and so now it's showing up on your skin. Or maybe you drink soda, or maybe you ate something that you normally wouldn't eat, and then it starts to come out of your pores, guys. It's the same thing. It's what's inside of you is what is going to show up out of you. So rather than being a victim, be love. I'm not saying don't step up for yourself or whatever the case may be, but I'm just saying to change your perception about the situation so that it doesn't hold this power over you. You are the creator of your reality, guys. You can change it at any time, but it takes you to change it. I can tell you what to do, but if you don't take the necessary steps that you need to take in order to change it, nothing's going to change, right? All right. So I hope that this live has inspired you. I hope that it has lifted you up. I hope that it has warmed your heart. I hope that it has opened up your mind. I hope that it has helped you to see things from a different way, that you really don't have to be a victim of your circumstances. All right. And so with that being said, if you feel like you are still having challenges with letting go of your victim mentality, talk to me, inbox me. I'd love to help you. As a mindset coach, I have learned to actually help humanity in the greatest way that I could have ever even thought that I would be helping, I thought it would be my beautiful singing voice that would help them, and believe me, it does. But it's my speaking voice that's really healing the masses, yeah? So what I'm saying, guys, is just be big, be great, be bold, because that's who you are anyway, So grab a copy of one of my books. Get your life together. 7 things you need to change your life now. Wisdom Words of Consciousness. There's just so many great tools in each one of these books that can help you not only get past victimization, but that can help you live a much more fulfilling life. Because once you understand life and you understand some of the things that we've been going through or growing through or facing or whatever the case may be, that we have the power to overcome it, But the books and the way that I write my books, they are written like the same way I'm talking to you now is the way that my book is written. So you're never going to feel like it's a dull moment. You're going to feel like you're having a conversation with your homegirl, just like right now, right? And it's really going to help you change your life. It's going to help you change your thinking. It's going to shift a whole lot of things. You might see your business begin to take off. You might see your relationships start to change. When you change your perception, you could change everything. It takes some practice and consistency, but you can do it. And once you've done and you've mastered it, it becomes just like a piece of cake. Just like I used to think negatively, it becomes a piece of cake to think positively. So, it's all on you. All right, guys, mine's up. I got more work to do, more content to create for you guys. You guys know I'm working on from poverty to prosperity. So that is my next move right now. So you guys get a chance to join me first when I start the live recordings and everything. I'm going to be hooking you guys up with that. Make sure you visit the website at www.takiyahdime.com. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure that you hit notifications so that you can be alerted whenever I go live, so that you can rock with me and you can join me for this great information that I give to you, So I love you. I love you. I love you. Mine's up. Deuces, keep it powerful, positive, and purposeful. Woo! Deuces, guys. I love you.